Hey guys, guten Abend aus Deutschland, good evening from Germany. I just wanted to share this with you while it's still fresh on my mind. And that is, um, in my Happy New Year video, I was talking about the HR guy. He's the guy that actually hired me or was there for the job interview, that I had back in 2018. And I've been close with him. I mean, we have the same kind of humor and stuff like that. And he always comes to the reception, and we talk a lot, but mainly humorous things. Exchanging jokes and stuff like that, or making humorous remarks. And so he has the same kind of way of dealing with stress, and that is that he gets more funny, like he laughs more and tells more jokes the more stressed he is. And so with the changes that had been going on at the company, his behavior changed. He wasn't cracking so many jokes anymore. He just kept running around, kept getting his espresso from the reception kitchen, and then just stood there looking out the panorama window. And so I told you guys in my Happy New Year video that I had a weird feeling about how all of a sudden his attitude had shifted. It was so strange. It was no longer him feeling bad about not initiating. I said that in the Happy New Year video. He doesn't initiate the changes, he implements them. And so when headquarters in America says you need to let go of another 200 people, then he's the one that needs to notify the people that they are terminated, or that they're being offered a severance package, which basically means either you take the offer or you get terminated. And so most people or I think all of them just took the severance, the offer. And so I had a weird feeling about him all of a sudden shifting his attitude, and I couldn't put my finger on it because I didn't have any information on how he managed to all of a sudden shift his attitude over the winter break, right? Yeah, today I found out. So he told me that he has turned in the letter of termination. He is quitting his job as the director of human resources of the German location. And I'm in shock because he represents so much humanity and so much, I don't know how to put it, like he has manners. Most of the time he's in a good mood. He's always asking how people are, and it's not like in the States where you do that as a standard. He's genuinely interested in hearing how people are doing. And again, if it had been a rude person having the job interview with me, I would have gotten a bad impression of the company and I wouldn't have accepted that job. And so we've been joking back and forth that it's all his fault, that I had all these experiences because of him, because he could have warned me how insane the team leader was. And every time we were talking about it, he said, "What are you talking about? I just wanted that position filled." And so why would he warn me of the insanity of the team leader, right? So anyway, he had been applying for jobs, and he finally was offered a job for a company in France where he's going to have 600 people. He's going to be like responsible, like human resources wise, for over 600 people, and he's going to have 11 employees. And so that is a job that is way better. And he finally broke and he took it. He's only been with the company that I work for 7 years, and I was there for 5.5. Because I remember when I had the job interview, they asked me how am I doing, and I said I'm a bit nervous, I gotta admit it, because I was in the States for 11 years. I'm a bit nervous about speaking German and yada yada, right? And he said to me, just imagine 1.5 years ago it was me on your side of the table. in that conference room. And I remembered that. And so I always added 1.5 years to the time that I spent there. But yeah, so he applied for another job. He was offered the job. He accepted the job. And that is why his attitude shifted. And I could sense it, but he wouldn't tell me. I said to him, "What happened? What happened to you over the winter break?" And this week he told me, or today he told me that what happened over the winter break is that they actually got into negotiations about him accepting the job. And so when he came back, he was like, no longer into his job at the company that we still both work for. And so, yeah, so guys, if you have a feeling, and every single time, it never fails, if I have a feeling about something, it's usually right. Learn to trust your intuition. It took me the longest time. It took me decades. So many years I told myself, oh, I'm just having a bad feeling because I'm nervous about something or worried about something. The fear is too much of a factor here. But no, every single time, if I had listened to my intuition, I could have saved myself so many bad experiences. But then again, the flip side of the coin is I would have avoided certain experiences that were not necessarily pleasant. But also we learned, or I want to speak for all of us. We learn a lot from bad experiences. Like when you're in a situation that pushes you to the limit, where you're thinking, okay, now it's to a point where it's not worth it for me anymore, and I'm just gonna change my life now, which is what basically just happened to me. And I can't believe it took me 5.5 years. And I'm still trying to explore that. But anyway, when you are in a situation that is very unpleasant, that is when you think about changing your life, and not when you're in your comfort zone. For example, like Amberlyn Reed is, just comfort zone, never challenging herself. And so what I'm still exploring right now is how I'm really feeling resentful about how much time I spent at that company, but I still remember how it happened. It's not like I get complacent or whatever. I never did. For those of you that sat through all of my videos complaining and bitching and moaning about my job, you know that I didn't just let things happen and figured, yeah, so this is my life now. But I was always critical of things, like, why is this happening now? And now the pandemic starts, and now the team leader is gone, but the one above her doesn't really help us either. And so what is going on? And so I was always actively looking at my job situation, and I kept thinking, just like in any relationship where you think, why is the other person acting all strange and not the way they used to act? And so is this the new norm? Because if it is, I might as well just get out of here, because I don't resonate with this at all. Right? And so I kept seeing the situation like, okay, so the team leader's gone, so things are going to get better. But they didn't get better. And then the one above her was let go too. He was offered a severance package. And so he took off, and then the next man came, and he said he's going to do things for us, and he didn't. And so we had 5 superiors in, or managers, but they weren't really managers, just supervisors or team leaders. 5 of them in 4 years now, because the pandemic started in 2020 and this is 2024. It's almost been 4 years since the pandemic started. And so none of them helped us, but each one of them, our team, me, the other receptionist, and the two other ladies that are in our team, we kept saying, okay, things are going to get better, and why give up now, so close to having positive changes? And that is what bothers me now. that I kept hanging on and kept hoping that positive changes would come, because me and the other receptionists got along, and we always, we did things that needed to be done. We never got into trouble for anything. And even now, I'm being told, people are shocked. I mean, the crying goes on. Today I hugged 5 people at work, that wanted to, say their goodbyes to me. And then we recalled situations where we were under so much stress and pressure, and we still handled it and stuff like that. Like one lady from the cafeteria cried. I mean, she's the one that we very closely work together with. Whenever I told you guys that we're going to have visitors from the States or from all over the world, because we had to work closely with the cafeteria because they were providing the snacks, and they were also they had to order more food in order to offer more lunches when the groups that were scheduled to arrive said that they're going to eat in the cafeteria. And so, there was a lot of interaction going on, and so much crying and hugging, and it's not easy. But these are the last few days, and it's almost, it almost feels like a breakup. Like you put so much time and effort into learning all these things, and this was such an extensive job. I mean, it has got to be the most extensive job when it comes to knowledge, having to acquire knowledge in my entire career path. Because hundreds of people whose name you have to remember, right, or their positions and procedures at the reception, which of course have to be very detailed, since there were 2 receptionists, so we had to do things in a similar fashion, right? And now I'm letting all of this go. But this is the plan. This is what I thought about, and this is the conclusion that I came to. I can no longer bear it, and so I'm going to get out of there, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm trying to stay upbeat about it, but with all the crying and the hugging, it's not easy. All right, I just wanted to tell you guys while it's still fresh on my mind, that whole HR guy story. And my message to you, please listen to your intuition. Our intuition is so important. It keeps us from so many bad experiences. Like, ever since I started listening to it, I've really avoided bad situations, like the story I told you guys about when I was a front desk agent at a Holiday Inn Express in New Mexico, and these 2 guys walked in on my evening shift, and they turned out to be father and son, and they were both over 6'3", I think, maybe 4 even, and I instantly got a bad feeling about them, and that was my intuition saying, you know, watch out, there's danger, and so I didn't confront them. I just played along, and I called the general manager right away because their credit cards wouldn't go through, and you have to run them and put a hold on that account up on check-in, and I couldn't do that. And so yeah, I've told that story several times before, but that was one of the times when I felt like my intuition really saved me from being harmed. All right, guys, I'm gonna go. It's getting late. I'm gonna go to bed, even though it's Friday night. But I'm just burned out. All the crying, and today I had to say goodbye to the cleaning lady because she's gonna be off, and so today was the last time we worked together, and it's so sentimental, but it's all part of this decision. And I'm willing to deal with everything that comes with it, because there's gonna be so much freedom involved for me, that comes with this decision. And so yeah, all right, I'm gonna go. Thank you for listening to this. I hope you're all doing all right, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye. To see.